many trades, but like
So
I
many
fucking bump it out.
trades. Yeah.
But supposedly this year teams are, dude. Jasmine got a softball and we had to get it out. Look at this shit. Not her fault. I just had to stick my man. I like scraped my finger on her tooth. It's real love. Yep. Mm. Alrighty, what's going on, guys? We're here. It is Wednesday. God damn. Okay. And I think one of the interesting things about the NBA right now, and a video just popped up. The same. It says Zoom YouTube broadcast. It's a weird way of putting that up, but either way, we got a lot of trades going on that I'm very, very curious to hear your guys' opinions. Who do you think is going to be traded as we get closer? We're hearing that there are more buyers and sellers, and that we might not see really many trades at all because teams have no. There's the draft picks for the 24 draft are deemed worthless. You have the 75% of the picks are owned by 11 teams. Yes, 11 teams in the NBA hold 75% of all the NBA draft capital for the next 10 years. And the other problem we're having is that there are more teams willing to buy than there are sellers. Really, the only sellers are Washington, the Hornets, a little bit in San Antonio with their vets, Portland's kind of, and that's it. Maybe Utah with a couple of their guys. Everybody else is buying. So, what are your thoughts? Who do you expect to be traded and why? Jackson or Henry, take the floor.
Wendell Carter Jr. to the Golden State Warriors.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
You can throw in
Can you
Jonathan
hear me
Isaac while
okay? I
you're
feel
at
like
it.
I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Henry, what do you want to see?
That's a crazy stat about what percentage of the team hold what percentage of the picks. The 75%. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, it's
That's
one
crazy. Good to share with
the
people.
75% of the draft capital is tied up to 11 teams. Yeah, one third of the league. Yeah, I saw that stat and I was like, oh, that's one to remember. I was like, that's fucking wild. So yeah, that's kind of like the whole problem. They literally described it as there is a log jam of picks where like no one can really offer the picks you want except certain teams.
I'm gonna give a hot take for the day and say that the Lakers get a D'Lo trade done.
Uh,
Wow, really? I think the whole Raptors thing could have some validity, but it has to be two separate trades if they want Bruce Brown. And they can do Bruce Brown for D'Lo straight up, and then they would have to do a second trade if they're trying to get Dennis Schroeder too.
That's my hot take. I think they need him, and I think he's good. Do I think it happens? Probably not. Could it? Yeah.
be a sad day.
I think the most shocking trade would have to be in my mind if we're thinking right now that from the stuff I'm covering. I think the Brooklyn Nets are weird. Like I think the most shocking trade would be Nick Claxton. I could see someone. I've been saying this. They said they want to keep him, but I could see a team like hitting them up and be like, "Hey, we want to do a Jakob Pertl style trade for Nick Claxton." But supposedly they're gonna aggressively re-sign him. So who fucking knows at that point? So
He
as we,
has been good. He has been very good this year.
no,
He had
I agree.
7 blocks the other night.
He did.
Yeah.
Is
I
he on
don't
your
think he had
fantasy team?
5 last night.
Well, okay,
I'm gonna
actually, let's take
lose
it back.
that
He actually had
category.
he's actually had a down year this year. He went from having back-to-back seasons where he was a 70% field goal shooter. Now he's like 63. All right. His scoring at the rim is down, and his holistically his defense. I mean, as of late, he's been better defensively, but his defense in compared to the last 2 years has been down. I mean, his rebounding is up. He's just not playing as efficient as he had. I mean, as of late, he's been better, but for the season, he wasn't where he was previously. Is where I'm getting
Man,
at.
I'm lagging like crazy. He's been one of the best paint protectors in the rim this season, though.
Paint protector still. I thought his defensive rate I thought his defensive rating, some of his defensive metrics were down.
His defensive rating is down, but I don't think it's attributed to him. I kind
You
of
think
dug
it's
into that. I'm not sure it's his fault.
well, his offensive game though is fucking completely down. He went from being like one of the most efficient guys in the league to now
For
like,
sure.
man. And he didn't even take more shots.
But
He's
shooting
actually, I think,
70% repeatedly at the rim is pretty
back-to-back
difficult as you
year.
accumulate volume.
I mean, back-to-back years, he did the same thing, and I think he's taking the same amount of shots. It just fell off the cliff. He did it for 2 years in a row. Also, 70% he only takes dunks. Daniel Gafford does it every. If you shoot like that, you want them to be shooting 70% that close.
True,
I
he is
love
down
Nick
for
Clark.
sure.
Dick Clarkson. I don't know if it's because he's getting more coverage, but yeah. Oh, there also is the argument that there isn't a true playmaker on the roster besides Spencer Dinwiddie, so there's no one really creating for him anymore,
Yeah, I
and
think
that
he's
could be
suffering.
contributing. Yeah, that he'd be suffering from that, the lack of facilitation. Now let's move over to Los Angeles. The Lakers are unlikely to make a major move. They will not trade Austin Reeves unless it's for an all-star, all NBA caliber player. They don't want to take on another max contract unless it's for an all NBA caliber player. So what we're hearing from Johan Buha of The Athletic specifically is the odds of the Los Angeles Lakers making a major trade at the NBA trade deadline has decreased in recent days. Sources tell Johan Buha of The Athletic the Lakers have grown more confident in the potential for their team to improve internally. Somebody was telling me I make 12-year-old expressions when I talk. The Lakers will not trade Austin Reeves unless a perennial all-star unexpectedly become available. Sources tell Buha. DeJounte Murray remains the target, but they're not prepared to vastly improve their initial offer of D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and a 2029 first-round pick and additional pick compensation. The Atlanta Hawks sought Reeves as potential compensation, but the Lakers appeared unwilling to budge from their position that he won't be included. The Lakers need another solid wing defender who preferably is also at least a decent perimeter shooter. And it makes you think, what would you give up if you're the Lakers for DeJounte Murray if they want you to improve the offer? Or are you cool keeping this in-house Lakers fan, Jackson?
Thank you. Thank you. Lakers Nation. What's up? I still don't understand the DeJounte Murray trade. I don't understand why that's the route. What was the trade?
Jalen Hood-Schifino, D'Lo, the 29 first-round pick, and then I assume additional pick compensation because they would send D'Lo to a third team, and that team would send the compensation to the Hawks.
I need a little bit more if I'm trading D'Lo.
Like in return, I would say have them throw you Patty Mills or like.
Yeah, I'd like Patty Mills.
I mean,
What?
If you could get D'Lo with Bogdan, with Bogey.
Ooh, yeah, Bogdan
that's not
would
happening.
be.
That's not
That would.
happening. We know
I'd sign that deal.
For sure.
Yeah, but
For sure.
I'm telling you right now.
But that's the type of thing. That's the type of thing that the Lakers need.
Yeah, but Bogdanovich is arguably like a very, very. I've read articles saying that Atlanta does not want to trade Bogdanovich. Because they like him.
Yeah, he's damn good.
Yeah, he's consistent, and arguably he's been their most consistent guy besides Trae Young for like the last 4 years. So it's seemingly the guys that they don't want to trade are Onyeka Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, and Bogdan. Everybody else is fair game, seemingly.
My issue is I would look elsewhere than DeJounte Murray because I don't like LeBron James needs shooters. I don't need another ball handler for once the playoffs come. I don't know what DeJounte would do differently. Like if the Lakers are the second worst 3-point shooting makes a night team and your leading 3-point taker is D'Angelo Russell, and that's what I need as a LeBron James teammate is to be able to knock down open shots. Not that DeJounte can't. It's not. I would like Patty in that trade a lot. I would like if the Lakers trade for DeJounte. I just don't really.
I don't think they should do anything because they right now only have one first round pick that they can trade. And if they wait to the offseason and they keep this first round pick, then they will have 3 first round picks available to trade this offseason. And to me, that's basic math. 3 first round picks can get you a lot more deals done than 1 first round pick.
Yeah, but you're trying to, LeBron's an old
I mean,
man.
D'Lo, let's be honest,
He's an old geezer.
D'Lo's been on the longest hot stretch of his career besides that year in Brooklyn. We haven't seen D'Lo play this consistently good for a while. So I mean, unless they're really trying to cash in on it, I respect if they don't force a trade because I don't think a trade needs to be forced. And I think with the way that their roster is constructed, if they can play the bargain bin, or obviously certain buyouts they can only sign, but I think I just think there's a road for better deals. Like I just don't think they need to make a big deal. Maybe they go out and just get a guy like Jay Sean Tate by packaging,
No, no, no,
Gabe.
no.
What do you mean?
You don't watch it, Sean.
Well,
You can
okay,
hit the backside of a barn.
that's true, but maybe they call the
I'd
Clippers
call
one.
up. I'd call up Washington.
I think they could dangle Gabe
No,
Vincent with Jalen Hood Shafino. That's $14 million and go out and get Tyus Jones.
yeah. I'd like. I don't think you'd trade Kispert. You know what? I'd rather just have Bruce Brown.
No, I agree. I just think the package of Gabe Vincent and Jalen Hood Shafino, $14 million, you can get something for that. Like honestly, I know
Yeah,
they're
I
not
think
trading him,
Bruce Brown. I
but
think's the answer.
Nick Richards and Miles Bridges packaged together, you could get them under salary matching. But that would never happen. But it's just the thought that there are deals out there you can get $2 7 million contracts under for that package. Henry, what do you think?
For who?
Just what the Lakers should they're saying they're good. The Lakers are going to stand pat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most likely outcome.
LeBron's. You guys are misremembering that LeBron James is the GM.
Yeah, and he wore. Yeah,
He's
I
got
think
busy days. Busy next
exactly.
2 days. I think they're definitely going to make a trade, and I think it'll be that first round pick. And unfortunately, I think D'Lo might be right
All
as
right,
well.
so I'm just gonna show this. Go peep this article I wrote 4 trades for PJ Washington. But I wanted to talk about real quickly was the Dallas Mavericks, New York Knicks, and Sacramento Kings and Cleveland Cavaliers are all teams that have been rumored to want to improve their wing depth. Specifically, we're hearing now from the Mavs that they prefer Kyle Kuzma or PJ Washington over Andrew Wiggins. We're also hearing that teams like the Clippers are interested in PJ Washington, a deal of, I believe, Amir Coffey, Bones Highland, and PJ Tucker and Bones Highland, something along. I think something along those lines. You would be able to get that deal done. We're also hearing that the T Wolves, are another team that's active. But the whole thing is if you're the Hornets, do you trade PJ Washington to a team like the Mavericks, the Cavs, the Knicks, where the Knicks is probably gonna offer you Evan Fournier a pick. Cavs can offer you Isaac Okoro with Dean Wade and Damian Jones, or Georges Niang and Isaac Okoro straight up. Then you got off the Mavs. It would the Hornets have requested Josh Green in any trade, so they have to include Josh Green and probably Rashawn Holmes at that point. And then you got the last one that I knew, or not New York. What was the last team that I said? I feel like I'm missing one.
Cavs? No.
Cavs already gave you that one. New York, Sacramento. Sacramento can eat his contract. They could keep Harrison Barnes on the deal, and they could just offer Davion Mitchell with Sasha Vinzikov and a pick and get that deal done. If you're any of those teams, would you guys trade for PJ Washington?
Sacramento is easily one I like the most.
Yeah, because you keep
I think they
Harrison
benefit
Barnes.
from just having a body like that.
Yeah, I thought that.
He'll
And
bomb away with them.
I wrote in my article that Mike Brown's had the Otto Porter, David West, who else did I put like there in there? Otapor, David West, Andre Iguodala. He's always had like these 6'6", 6'7", like wing forwards that he can use when he was an assistant coach with the Warriors. So yeah, no, I think it is definitely interesting to see how that's going to all play out in terms for PJ Washington. They're not forced to trade him. It's just he's kind of the odd man out, and they probably cash in on him right now. The Suns and Celtics are targeting Simone Fontecchio. Yes, the Frenchman who's from my hometown of Pescara, Italy. And we're hearing that, first off, by the way, supposedly that Quinn Snyder is advocating for DeJounte Murray, and that has split the room, and particularly about a trade happening, because now people don't. Seems like Quinn Snyder, like we've known, carries a lot of weight. Now, going back to what I was saying about Simone and Fontecchio, Boston Celtics and Phoenix Suns have reached out for a trade. Simone Fontecchio is really broken out. He's a 6'9" shooter. He's basically a better version of what Danilo Gallinari is now, with a little bit more athleticism, and actually tries on defense. Like, fucking tries on defense. He's playing 23 minutes a night, 9 points, 45% from the field, 39% from three, 3.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, his steal game. People are going to be like, well, you sucked his first year. I was like, well, he's a 27-year-old rookie playing in a country and in a new world. Like, there was a transition period. I feel like he's finally gotten through that transition period. And at this point, I think Simone Fontecchio is a guy, because of how cheap his deal is, someone that a lot of people will have interest. He's only making $3 million. And Boston has a trade exception. They could eat him just with that trade exception, while the Suns could package Naz Little or one of their multiple minimum contracts. If you're the Suns or Celtics, Henry or Jackson, what would you do and why? Let me know.
Works for me. Seems like a Celtic.
You're just gonna give me silence. No one's gonna tell me what we should do if Phoenix Suns or Boston Celtics trade.
Works for me. Yeah, works for me.
You cut out for me.
I am down. Down. Lock it in. He's going to the Celtics. That's all I have there. Hey, how about those Oilers, though? They were a win shy of the NHL wins record, eh? Yeah, I think the Rockets should look into Brogdon. I wouldn't be surprised if they got Kelly O. Expiring deal. But that whole Freddie injury really sucks. I see Ahmed Thompson is trending.
You guys are fading out of the play-in, though, aren't you?
Fastly. And now Freddie Double V is out for a while. Ahmed 13 of 13, 6 assists and 3 blocks and 7 offensive rebounds.
What are you guys talking about?
And a Jalen Green 30 piece.
What's going on?
That's what I'm talking about. Simone Fontecchio.
What, his defense or no?
He'd be a great fit in both spots.
I think he's better. I mean, I think he'll get more minutes on the Suns because they need someone like him. He'd basically be, anytime KD sits, Simone Fontecchio would be there. And then imagine Simone Fontecchio, KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal on the floor next to Jusuf Nurkic. That's fucking massive. I just think you would get more runs with the Suns. They desperately need someone like him, while the Celtics would just have him replace Sam Hauser's minutes. He'd just be a better Sam Hauser for them. No, nothing against Sam Hauser.
Do think.
What are you gonna say, Henry?
Yeah, I do think in the meta sense, you're gonna see Boston make a move before the deadline. I think they're feeling some pressure.
I think they're feeling pressure because they don't have a fucking bench score. I think They need a backup point guard. What's their trade exception that they have? I think is 6.6, 6.3, I believe, right? Something along those lines. If you can double check
Yeah.
that for me, Henry. And you can only put non-player assets with a trade exception, right? You cannot put, or can you put no assets? You can put picks with a trade exception. And with that being said,
Yes.
for someone who makes around $6 million or under $6 million, who is someone along those lines? Obviously, I don't think Sasha Venzikov is going to be someone they go after, nor is Otto Porter. I think Javon Carter is a name to watch. He's not getting much run with the Bulls as you thought he would for like the kind they play him, but it's like I feel like he's a bit more movable than been alluded. I think Javon Carter would be perfect for this Boston team. At the same time, I think if they were to call up a team, I mean, Dean Wade would be cool for them. I think he could
Wow.
help them out quite a bit. Chumo KK could be cheap, but he's like unproven. We know at the same
Javon
time they
Carter. Javon Carter fit.
Javon
Javon
Carter.
Carter fits perfectly into the 6.2 million trade exception.
Yeah, but then they come back and they tell me, well, we have Drew Holiday and Derek White and Payton Pritchard. We don't need a fucking other guard. So then that's when I started thinking,
Oh,
okay,
for sure.
that if that's what their thought process is, they could go after City Bay, who I think could really help them. This is where it gets a little iffy around here because
Najee Marshall. I've been seeing Najee Marshall.
Najee Marshall's not bad. I do like that one, and he's on a cheap enough of a deal that could happen. I think that they want defense with some perimeter shooting is the biggest thing for them. It seems like. So when you look around the league, the Simone Fontecchio makes a lot of sense. The Najee Marshall makes a lot of sense. I think they would really benefit from getting another guy like, if I like, damn, it becomes difficult to see, especially when you get down to some of these deals are such bargains, that they have. If I were them, I would inquire about campaign and Marjan Beauchamp. Send you a couple seconds in that trade exception. I mean, if I'm the Bucks, I'm saying no, but if I'm the Celtics, that's a decent deal. Even though Marjan Beauchamp's unproven, like I just to get Marjan, I love Marjan. All right.
I think Boston makes a move of some kind for sure. Lock it in.
Torrey Craig's another name to watch. Najee Marshall, Torrey Craig, Simone Fontecchio. I think that's the guy they want. I think those are the guys they want. Basically, what they hoped Lamar Stevens would be, but never became. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they could try to convince. What if they do Chris Dunn and Simone Fontecchio for that trade exception?
Boom.
I
Like
love that.
that.
I like that. They fit. They fit. They make
Can two people they can both go in, they can both go into it?
yeah, because they make Simone makes 3 million and Chris Dunn makes 2.5. That's 5.5 million, buddy.
Ooh,
And
Keontae got
They got a
26
2026
minutes.
first to move.
Oh, wow. Keontae's back.
Keontae George, yeah, he had a good night the other night.
25 minutes back to back games. You can't keep, I mean, Chris Dunn is, that's the thing though, is they're 500 now with the win over OKC. And Chris Dunn's one hell of a defender. All those guys like Olenek Dunn,
Olynyk would be
out of
so good.
nowhere. But it's just like they're 26 and 26. It's nuts.
They're
I don't know how
on
they
a
do it.
fucking tear.
Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As much as I want Keontae to pop back in that starting lineup, like they're winning.
I am surprised by like the amount of I don't know, like it's not like also I'm just this guy, Kofi on YouTube.
Kobe White is a star though.
Kofi, the YouTuber.
Kobe, yeah,
Hey,
Kobe White's
that's
a
a bad
star.
man.
You know who I'm talking about,
He's a
Kofi?
bad man. One bad man.
Hey, I'm actually so fucking
Cookies.
happy
Nom,
that
nom, nom,
my
nom, 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 nom.
credentials. Let me just vent this before we go. You can ask Henry. I had been fucking frustrated and I don't usually get frustrated. I'm pretty kumbaya guy, like melancholy. But I was fucking frustrated. I also had like $300 like going in the toilet, like
Mhm.
car rental, fucking Airbnb, and then also like was gonna have to face the fact that I was gonna have to like be like doing this shit just like from home covering it, which would have sucked.
On your couch.
Yeah, for work. Okay, so it's not like it's my YouTube channel where it's like I'm fine doing it. No, like I would have been doing actual like fucking work from my couch, which would have sucked. Also, would have the cameras I bought were purposely bought to like start using them at NBA All Star
Oh,
Weekend.
really?
Yeah, and I spent like 1,500 on those cameras. So like so
Unreal.
I want to yeah. Oh, thank you, Jackson. Yeah, 100% the most unideal thing. It was just and the worst thing is like if they had rejected me through KS, me and Henry talked about this. If they had rejected me through KSNT, wouldn't have been a problem. But this was through Hoops Hype. Like I'm at with a more reputable like organization. You gonna come to
Yeah.
the combine, Henry? I mean Jackson this year. You gonna join Luke?
No. Is Luke coming
Bro,
down?
Luke's
Jackson slide to Indy.
yeah slide it. So
Indy.
well so Luke
Indy's gonna
is
be
the
lit.
Indy is gonna be like you should come. Scott Fisher's meeting up with us.
Oh, no shit, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Oh my
you
God. Have you met him?
no you have you met him?
No. You gotta tell me
He's
how that goes.
yeah he lives in Indiana, so he just said he the first to meet up, and I said sure, but
Church?
no, but
Camp?
synagogue.
His youth group?
What I was gonna say is, yeah, Luke. Because of school, Luke loves Luke only wants to come to the combine. So Luke is gonna come for the G League elite camp and the scouting combine because he wants to watch his college basketball degenerates play in front of him. And Luke's pretty good with the college basketball stuff, so he's kind of a good person to have right there and like to keep because he's watching the shit that nobody's watching. So like
He's watching DePaul last night.
no, like literally, or he's watching like Montana State versus Belmont, and he'll be like, "Yo, this guy on Montana State, like, you should check him out."
Yeah, great school to play basketball for.
He,
Montana State. Ooh.
he just knows a lot, and so he's very useful for like the scouting stuff when it comes to there, and he enjoys it. So that's kind of his shtick. He shows up for like 2 events a year to help him get some footage. But let's continue. Let's run through this. Why is the number one recommended short for me called "What Race Has the Most Attractive Guys"?
You're like that guy at ESPN who like posted his ad and it was about like hot girls or something.
No way. Why? What?
Why is the internet showing stuff like this?
ESPN.
Now, granted, to both of your guys' defense, on the website I use to download YouTube videos, it's just it can get dicey on there.
What's the ESPN thing? ESPN employee post.
Yeah, I don't know if he was. I don't think he was with ESPN, but it was something. It's a big name. I forget. I don't think it's. Is it Whitmore? Who's the guy who or Whitlock? I think it's the dude who has beef with Stephen A. Jason
Whitlock.
Whitmore.
Whitlock.
Whitlock.
Whitlock is such a racist.
Wow.
Oh yes,
He's
Jason
black.
Whitlaw blames Disney for sexual ad appearing.
It's on like the ESPN homepage or something.
I do
Go
remember
to
this.
ESPN and see.
Yes, balls deep inside of me is a great way to spend.
Of course, I've
And
got
then
Nike.
well, the best thing was he posted that saying as like a diss to ESPN, like, how dare you
Yeah.
allow these ads on here? And then everyone comments, they're like, hey bud, the way that ads work is they're algorithm based off of your algorithm, so they give you ads based on your search history. So everyone's saying you just made it clear that your search history is sus.
Yeah. Tough look. These Nike shoes do look.
Yeah, Twitter's
They look
users were
decent.
quickly to point out that Whitlock may have exposed his own search history, claiming it was targeted. It was a targeted Google ad for a site he previously visited. He goes, the next day, he tried to shift the blame on Disney in an extremely long tweet. He even opened up on his past, quote, porn and other sexualized content are the number one driver of internet traffic. I talk pretty openly about my former love of strip clubs and debauchery, wasting hours on Instagram looking at influencer Brittany Renner and others. Because of the scales being removed from my eyes, I'm aware of how much sex is promoted and settled, and that's just the ways of the internet I'm going to complain about. Debauchery. Debauchery. My love for strip clubs and debauchery. Okay, let me tell you. Don't get me wrong.
Oh.
One strip club every 5 years is enough for me, or maybe a strip club a year. I don't even know. Maybe
That's a lot of strip clubs.
Yeah, I feel like that's one a year is already too many. Maybe one every. I don't know. If I go to Las Vegas and I'm out with a group of people and they're like, "Do you want to go to a strip club in Vegas?" I'm like, the thing is, I get sick of it like that so quick. I get a lap dance and then I'm like, all right, we can go. I'm done. Like, what am I going to do here? Talk? Have a conversation?
It's up to you. You got the floor.
I do have the floor.
I was a frequent in GTA back at 14.
I was. One time my little sister told on me because I went to the strip club on GTA and I used to have the console when I was like 15 in my living room. And she came in and like the titties were on there. And she like went and told my dad. I was like, it's a video game.
Dad's just glad it's boobs.
Yeah, dude. At least it's not a fucking cock. One of my fucking I can't say them. All right. Let's hit the last couple rumors that we're gonna hear before we dip. Kelly has registered widespread interest from playoff teams. We kind of touched on that. Ben Simmons says he's more useful.
Oh, get him to Chicago. Zach LaVine in a second. Ben Simmons in a second.
Nick's still targeting Al Burks.
Alec Burks. No, we don't need him.
Gone, but not forgotten.
But I'd take Ben Simmons.
Okay. Let's do Pirtle. I had a message from my boss from 20 minutes ago.
Short staff today. Oh,
Jackson Hayes.
Looks like Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Isn't that Jalen Williams? No. But try it. Or not that Jalen. Not J-Dub. But it's not him because it's not a.
Oh, Zeke Nanji.
That's what his hairs look.
No.
Every other team. Oh, yeah. Nice. Scoot Henderson.
All right.
Roddy.
All right. Yeah.
I can't believe I dropped Brandon Miller in fantasy basketball. God damn it. He was playing good too. It wasn't even like it was right before he started playing good. He was playing perfectly well. He just wasn't doing enough on sleeper. Just wasn't there. Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay. I got a dip. That's gonna be a goat life. Everything. Anything you guys gotta say? I'm gonna take that silence as a no. All right.
Yeah.